The build kit from Corsair is supposed to be extremely easy. If my PC illiterate wife can do it, no offense, then so can you. In this video, we're gonna see who can build it faster. But to make it more fair, I'm gonna be blindfolded. Go ahead and comment right now who you think is gonna win before you finish this video. We each get 3 lifelines. Let's get into it.
Wow, aggressive much?
First up, the unboxing.
Corsair Build Kit video guide. Ski. QR code. Page not found. No longer exists.
Luckily, we found it online manually.
This is for the ASMR people.
Are you done? Intel Core. Is this a processor?
Whoa.
Because I feel like that is what I hear.
I was becoming very impressed with how well Allie was catching on.
GeForce RTX 4090 GPU. I don't know what that is.
Oh.
I almost became impressed with how well she was catching on.
CPU cooler. Cool. Cools me down when I'm getting too hot.
Frustrated with Corsair's non-checkable checklist, she resorted to creating her own to make sure everything was there. To help herself out even further and remember what everything is, Allie covered everything in post-it labels. Already starting to catch on a little too fast, so I had to act quick in distracting her to slow her down.
Why is that funny?
Whoa, that was good. Nice.
Swole. Like, oh my gosh, you just legit pull it off. Top filter.
Still so nervous about the glass panel, she had to use a lifeline.
Yeah, give me a lifeline because I don't want to break
Your hands were very close to it right here. Right there.
Just pull it. Boom. There. Take the screws off. Stand now, it's not glass, so I'm not as scared.
Oh, yeah.
Ah, yes. Here's a little L bracket. Now get to good grease.
She then struggled and struggled to pull the accessories box out, so she had to use my pull-out skills.
How'd you do that? Pinch, pinch.
Lifeline number 2, all ready. Next, it was time for the motherboard.
Word to your mother.
Whoa.
Motherboard is broken.
Wow, that was really informative.
Yes.
That was all just the unboxing. So to keep it fair, I had to reset the timer.
I'm really nervous right now.
Ever so gently, she lined up the arrows and dropped in the CPU.
So now I think we close her up. Oh, this makes me nervous. I feel it.
Closed it, latched it, and onto the tools.
Ooh. Ooh, it bends. Get rid of the bendy.
Now on to removing the heatsink for the SSD, the main hard drive, installing the SSD, removing the plastic on the thermal pad, and then securing the heatsink back on top.
I wonder why this one's a lot harder to get in and take off.
That's what she said.
Now on to the RAM.
Memory. I found you.
Could she figure out which way to put them in?
No. Look, it's not shaking. I don't want to break something. Let's go until it clicks. Okay. Whew. The sides and then click themselves back. Mother.
Now to drop the motherboard into the case and screw in all the screws.
I like this little tool. Great.
I was getting a little nervous that she was gaining speed, so distraction attempt number 2.
Oh my gosh. CPU cooler. Just. Hey.
Distraction success.
Mm-hmm.
Now on to the all-in-one liquid cooler for the CPU.
Who's the liquid cooler?
First, this mounting bracket she learned needed to go on the back of the computer behind the motherboard.
There we go.
Now back to the front for the standoff screws. She then began the long journey of screwing the 3 fans into the radiator, placing it into the case, and securing it. Now it was time she unveiled the cooling block,
On this thingy.
place it on the CPU, and secure it with the thumb screws.
Oh, yeah.
Take our fan. I'm feeling a little confidence kicking in.
Pride goes before the fall, and as Allie learns later, she was also installing this fan backwards. Now it was on to installing the RGB hub, feeding the fan cables from the front, connecting all the other fans to the pre-installed hubs, and after a lot of time wasted looking for the power cable for the Elite hub, she finally found it.
Seriously? This gotta be it.
The USB cable she very messily routed from the bottom and soon realized coming in from the sides directly next to the USB headers was a much better choice. Confused with the video tutorial for the rest of the connections, she quickly went back to the manual. Equipped with knowledge, she conquered the USB headers and also matched the audio cable with the audio header. But would the tiny and tedious system panel header be too much for her? Nope, Allie figured that out too. Now for the power supply.
Smells like a petting zoo.
First taking care of that massive 24-pin ATX power cable.
Click. Got it.
She could only find one CPU cable and she spent forever looking for the other one, so that's gonna cost her some time. So she decided to move on to the SATA cables and look more later. 3 connected, but tangled, so it had to be redone. Now for the most important final component, the GPU. Somehow she broke my razor blade on the box. To help ease my anger, let's pause for some ASMR. She figured out all by herself that she needed to remove 3 brackets to fit this monster 4090 GPU. Allie was thrilled to learn that 2 cords were actually in the way of the GPU.
Push these cords. I'm not having fun anymore.
There we go. Now it'll fit.
This is gonna be quite the video to edit. Click. Are you freaking kidding me?
She dropped a screw into the GPU, so she had to redo all of that. She was extra careful with the screwing the second time. Now for the GPU power adapter with a whopping 4 PCIe connectors.
Feels like it should not work. Is this right?
No, it was backwards. It should not be that hard to shove it in. After connecting all the cables, she began feeding them through the other side. Never seen such beautiful cable management. Around back, getting close to the finish line, plugging it all in. Starting with those GPU cables, SATA cables, or as Allie calls them, SATA cables.
So the SATA ones.
The CPU, and the monstrous motherboard cable. Struggling profusely to actually put it in the computer, Allie figured out that the extra hard drive cage was in the way. Instead of sliding it down, she just removed it since we won't be needing it.
Goodbye. That's a lot easier.
After making sure everything is fully connected and sliding in the power supply, she just needed to quickly tidy up the cables a little and secure the power supply to the case, close her up, and fix that backwards fan so the PC can actually function properly. Yeah, don't do what she just did. Maybe make sure it's aligned before you pound it. As quickly as she could, she snapped on all the remaining panels and... behind that smile, she anxiously braced for the worst. But first, let's check out how I handled this blindfolded.
Let me see.
Let's get a little coffee boost. I began by using my hands to create a mental mind map of the motherboard, starting with the most dangerous part to put in blind, the CPU. My palms were sweaty, knees weak, arms were heavy. I only got one shot. One wrong move could ruin this processor, costing me $600. I quickly felt around the packaging to understand which way was up.
I'm gonna use one of my lifelines.
Already needed verbal help.
And to your left.
I knew where to put it, but that final millimeter precision, I needed just a little directing.
Yep, right there. Drop it.
Sweet. All right, that was nerve-wracking. Okay.
Jumping right into the RAM, feeling for that notch was the only way I could determine its orientation.
That feels like the long side.
Lining them up was even worse.
Ooh, that felt like a slot. Oh, there we go. Click, click.
It took me 4 minutes for one easy RAM stick. Let's see if I can beat that on the second.
Oh, yeah.
Half the amount of time for the second one, I'm feeling pretty good. On to the SSD.
Oh, there it is. That is on.
Just a few minutes to get that on correctly, but getting the heatsink back on top of that really cost me a lot of time.
Ooh, that felt like money.
Getting the motherboard out of the way, it was time for me to blindly bring out the case.
You did it.
I quickly created another mental mind map and then began attempting to place the motherboard into it. Lining up the case peg to the motherboard's center hole was not going to be easy.
Blow at me.
What? That's cheating.
Using the ports position on the back, I was finally able to line up that pesky center peg.
Oh, that was it.
Next, I had the challenge of finding 8 screw holes.
Ooh, I got one. Woohoo!
My strategy here to save some time was to just drop in all the screws first and then come back in and tighten them all at the same time.
Huh.
Nice try, Allie. Nothing was going to break my focus.
Ooh, all right, all screws are floating.
12 minutes just placing them in, then an extra 5 minutes to actually screw them all in.
Okay.
Shifting to the CPU cooling, I got a little pep talk boost.
It's the Justin Tech Tips.
We got a fan.
What?
We got a fan.
Getting it all mounted to the case and attached to the CPU.
Oh.
After about 15 minutes trying to get one screw in, I was about to lose my mind.
Bro, this is going to take
All right,
5 hours.
I need a lifeline.
Okay, and then the screws are in every other one, starting with the first horizontal. Can you like take an arm break? Oh,
I found a screw.
yeah.
Oh my gosh. This is a lot harder than I thought it was gonna be.
The next screw took way less time, but then
Oh my gosh.
What?
I realized Allie directed me to put the screws in the wrong spot.
He told me to mount it up here. I actually got to mount it down here.
Below the triangles.
Remember that one time you said above the triangles?
The radiator was way too high. 30 minutes wasted.
Whoa. Oh yeah.
Learning to use his tenses.
First poke.
Thankfully, I redid those screws a lot faster, but that bottom row was still giving me trouble.
You were using the tip of your finger a minute ago.
Just the tip. All right. Woohoo! Radiator done.
That all took a lot longer than I was hoping. The standoff screws for the CPU cooler was thankfully way easier. About 3 hours in, it's time to hide the timer to build some suspense on who the winner's gonna be. This next part, incredibly difficult. Blind application of thermal paste. I actually had no idea what to expect until I watched the footage later.
Oh, that might be exactly.
Not exactly centered, but still not terrible. I would have put a little bit more, but this'll do. It was incredibly important that I did not do the cooling block wrong. I did not want to have to clean off the thermal paste blind and then redo it. Luckily, it went on smoothly, and the thumb screws were super easy. Time for the exhaust fan. I did a great job moving fast with that, but nearly screwed my internet. Literally. I removed the back panel, and now I needed to create another mental mind map to get these fan cables plugged in.
There we go.
The radiator fans were next, and I blasted through all 3 of those. Now I absolutely had to use a lifeline on this next part. The front panel audio and USB headers.
Straighten it a little left, up on the left side. Do one little push.
Boom. Okay.
That front panel was hard even with direction.
Pull back a little bit. Now go to the right a little bit. Up, down, right. You're in.
All that bossy direction started to remind me of our first time building a computer. Then I had the CPU cooling block cables. Thankfully that was pretty quick, but now it was a race to the finish with our power supply. First with the massive ATX power cable. I did not anticipate how long it would take me to figure out the PSU connections with only my sense of touch.
Oh, there we go.
Over 30 minutes just on the ATX cable. After that headache, I decided to jump to the graphics card. Bummer. The GPU cables were routed through the wrong hole, so I had to reroute those from the back again. But then even after that, I could not line up that PCIe slot for some reason. Something that I've done 100 times that I thought would have been one of the easier parts.
You were like legit on it. You were on it, babe.
I then recharged and refocused. And finally,
Yeah.
one of the most victorious and satisfying clicks that I've ever heard. You have no idea how good that felt after almost 30 minutes trying to get that GPU in. Connecting the GPU power cable was a breeze compared to that. Quickly, I connected the CPU cables and all the SATA cables.
Oh yeah.
And now I was finally ready to slide the PSU into the case.
Oh,
Yeah.
he did it.
Surprisingly, screwing the PSU into the case took way less time than I thought it would.
Think you feel it and then you don't put it where you're feeling.
Switchies. Oh yeah.
Finally on to retrieving the back panel and installing it back on. I nearly dropped my almost $4,000 PC. Getting a little overly confident and excited, I danced my way to the front with the final glass panel. Then I held my breath for the moment of truth. Oh, the absolute bliss that I felt to have completed this blind and for it to actually be functioning properly. Just wait till I show you how it performed in games. I'm also going to show you where to buy it and what monitor that I recommend with it. Unfortunately, my final time, nearly 7 hours to build this PC blindfolded. A lot longer than Allie. So my only hope to win is for Allie's build to have failed startup into Windows.
What the fudge? The smoke alarm's gonna start going off. Get the fan going. Nikes. Get the fan going to air it out in here.
Wonder if it has anything to do with this fog machine down here.
You're such an awesome. Did you just really do that?
All right, after Allie about nearly burnt the house down. Woohoo! We have Windows, working computer. She did it.
Don't do that. You're like,
Allie was the ultimate winner.
yay, me.
Now you can go to bed.
And no, she doesn't win that lame prize that I offered at the beginning. She won a full month of daily back massages for 2 to 3 seconds. As far as the in-game performance at maximum graphic presets, you can see here that as expected with an i9 and 4090, we got some pretty amazing FPS. And not even at the expense of getting too hot either. Very pleased with our average temps for each game for both the GPU and CPU. If you do decide to purchase this kit or one of the more budget-friendly versions and are up to the challenge to finally build your own PC, the safe and easy way where you know everything is actually compatible, then please remember to do so using my QR code or affiliate links in the comments and description below, as I get a small commission at no cost to you for every single purchase made. And it's actually a major factor in keeping this channel going and getting better and better for you. If putting this together actually seemed like more of a headache to you than it's actually worth, then I recommend the Corsair Vengeance i7 500 if you'd just rather pay a couple $100s more to have a similar already pre-built PC sent directly to you. It's actually the most purchased top tier PC by my viewers. Third most purchased overall when compared to the more affordable budget PCs. Click up here for my full review on that PC, or click down here for my overall best gaming PCs of the year. That's going to give you my top recommendations for every budget. And for monitors, I get the LG Ultra Gear for high-end gaming. Click here for that review. Also make sure to like, comment, and subscribe with notifications turned on to stay up to date with all of my latest gaming PCs. Thanks for watching. God bless.